Small Japanese child told to get off the basketball court, told that he cannot play basketball at the basketball court in Japan by some foreigners, by some adults, which foreigners are some of those adults, guys. Let's get into it. You're wondering, why is this white dude, why is this cracker speaking up about this situation? Why do we care? Well, I'm not just some cracker. I'm a basketball playing cracker who lives in Japan and speaks Japanese, guys. And I've actually been to this court many times. I have a video on my YouTube from me playing at that court many times. Check it out.
Putting it high, putting it... Oh!
Need I say more? I've broken ankles on this very court. So, that's why my opinion matters, guys. You've probably seen this viral video here of this kid. This has been all over the Twitter timeline, all over your Instagram timeline, your mom's Instagram timeline, etc. Let's get into it. I'm not going to say much more. Let's just play the video here.
はい、ここに書いてあることなんですけど、代々木公園バスケットコートはみんなが通用できる共有のスペースです。他の利用者と譲り合ってご利用ください。代々木公園サービスセンターと書いてある。はい、それで
So, before we get into much more, this is the most important thing in Japan. What's the most important thing in Japan? The most important thing in Japan is the rules. Always. The rules are the most important in Japan. So, on this cart, at this park, like I said, I've been to this park many times. There may not be literal rules, park rules, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but there is this sign. 代々木公園バスケットコートはみんなが使用できる共有のスペースです。他の利用者と譲り合ってください。ご利用ください。Yeah, so take your turns, let everyone play. This is what it's all about in Japan. The rules are the most important. It doesn't matter how you play basketball in your home country. The most important thing is following the rules in Japan, letting everybody play, making sure everybody's included. Collectivist mindset. Notice the foreigners. We got all types of foreigners here. All types of foreigners. We got some white foreigners. We got some black foreigners. We got some Asian. Maybe, nah, this guy looks kind of Japanese. Kind of hard to tell because the gashitsu ga warui. The, what's it called? The video quality is kind of bad, but this might be a foreigner as well. You can't really tell. Yes, there are more Asians than just Japanese people. Hey, to all the Americans out there, by the way, PSA, there are more Asians than just Chinese people. Because there are a lot of Americans that think China is the only Asian country, maybe, or they think all Asians are Chinese. Yeah, my class, there's like a Mexican guy, a guy from Ecuador, there's a black guy, there's a Chinese guy, there's another Chinese guy, and you're like, dude, neither of those guys are Chinese. One of them was Korean, and one of them was Burmese. And they're just like, oh, no, they're all Chinese. I live in Japan. Dude, I live in Japan, and all the time people are like, how's China, dude? Like, unironically. I'm like, it's Japan. And they're like, wow, same thing, you know. All the Americans out there, there are more Asians than just China. Okay, so, anyways.
見てくださいこの現状。外国人や日本人
Oh my gosh.
大人の方々がこれ占領して片方使えばいい話なのを全面コートを使ってやっています。
It's reasonable.
で私たちがそこでやると、危ないからどけと言われ、そのままずっと行くと、変な言葉やいろいろ変なことを言ってきます。これ今は外国人にパッて言われました。
Shout out to these kids, guys. These kids are standing up for what they believe in, trying to make a difference, and you'll see further into the video what exactly they do, but round of applause for these kids here.
はい、私もです。日本人もいます。もちろん日本人もいます。全面コート使っています。本当に僕たちバスケやりたいのにやらせてくれないんですよ。で、ああいう外国人が片方使ってる時に、子供はそこで使ってないところを、使ってます。で、またこっち側にあっち側に来たら、また戻ってっていう繰り返しで気持ちよくできないんですよ。もう嫌ですよ。
All right, so for some background on how things go at this court, and I'm not saying this is okay, I'm just saying how things tend to go when I've been to this court. And I've played basketball at other courts in Japan as well, but specifically the courts in Yoyogi Koen are dominated by foreigners. Now, there are other places where people play basketball in Japan, but in my experience, playing pickup basketball, like freestyle, very few rules, you just kind of show up and you run a game with whoever's there. That's like the antithesis to Japanese culture. Showing up, meeting random people, very casual. If there's a disagreement about rules, you just kind of like shoot up or whatever. You argue for a little bit. You have to assert yourself to get in on a game if you want to rotate in. That's the antithesis to Japanese culture. And this is why, I have a theory, guys, this is why not too many Japanese people play basketball at Yoyogi Koen. From my experience, I was there like 10 times or something. I played basketball there, and I'm probably going to go back this summer as well. It's starting to get warm here. It's because they play a very, very foreign style of basketball there. You just show up, you hop in, you have to assert. If you want to get in on a game, you have to say, I got next. You have to create your next five on your own. A very like Americanized pickup basketball style, which that is not at all Japanese. Japan is all about rules, letting everyone in, making sure everyone is happy, everyone's playing together. You don't have to assert yourself. People just read the air and kind of work in together. And other basketball courts in Japan that have more rules that you need to pay to get into are more occupied by Japanese people. There are even like pickup basketball courts, or not pickup, but they're outdoor basketball courts that you don't have to pay to get into. But you actually have to like sign a waiver, or you have to select your court and time and fill out like a slot. And you get one place to play with your people that came in together, and you get a specific time slot to play there. And those courts usually have way more Japanese people, percentage-wise, than these courts at Yoyogi Koen that don't have written rules. You don't have to sign up to get in. You don't have to pay to get in. Japanese people in general, guys, they like the rules. They like knowing what they're getting into. I've heard from foreign friends who also play basketball here as well, when they've played with Japanese people, like they think they're going to play pickup ball somewhere, or they get invited to play basketball somewhere, and they meet up and they play, like they run drills together. They run like practices. They take turns. Everyone gets a specific time slot. You rotate after a certain amount of time. You all do drills and you take turns, and everything is planned out, and there's a system to everything, like that is in Japan. Now, I've played basketball at this court, like I said, Yoyogi Koen, many times. And it's very Americanized, the way that they play. Very few rules. You show up. You create your five. It's not people that you know. You have to assert yourself to get in on a game, and that is not Japanese at all. And I think that's why there are so few Japanese people here. Let's continue.
お電話ありがとうございます。代々木公園サービスセンターの山本でございます。はい、こんにちは。
So they call the park manager.
代々木公園のところの、バスケットコートで遊んでたんですけど、看板にみんなで遊ぶところって書いてあるのに、
外国人の人とか大人の人が潜入して、それで遊ぼうとしても邪魔とかやられて遊べないんですけど、どうすればいいですか？
そうですか。わかりました。確認いたしますんで、すいません。はい。
ありがとうございます。
Look at this, guys. This is important. Let's go back to that last right here.
ありがとう。
これで平和になるといいな, this kid says. It's like, if by doing this it becomes peaceful, we can find peace, that would be great. Peace, the most important thing in Japan. And how do you achieve peace? Rules, everybody cooperating, everybody letting everybody work together. That's not very likely to happen if you're playing pickup basketball in an American style, where you just show up, you play full court, and there's one side of the court that's open for 30 seconds at a time. And while that side of the court is open, Japanese people might be thinking, hey, we can use this side as well. And then the foreigners come in. Not just foreigners, guys. I'm sure there are Japanese people playing in there as well. And they come down to that side. Oh, we're using this court as well. If you want to get in, you have to beat us. If you want to get in, you have to create your own five of people that you don't know. Just find random strangers, create a five there, and work in. Now, I want to clarify. Notice there are 2 courts here. And this is how things go at this court, at Yoyoi Koen. This main court where they're playing is used for full court games. The video that's being taken here is full court. That's not a rule. That's not written on the park rules or anything. That's how people tend to play here. So there's a court here that is used for full court games, that people tend to use it for full court games. And then there's another court back here, which is half court and half court. And once again, this is not the written rules. This is just how people play there. This is how the system has been developed. And that's very similar to how you would see things going in America. You show up to one court, it's like, this is the full court court. On the other courts, you kind of play, you switch out. You play 3s on one side and 3s on the other side, or people just shoot around or kind of do whatever. Now, we have to remember where we are. Where are we? We're in Japan. In Japan, the most important thing, peace, following the rules, letting everybody work together. Now, this system might work great for the adults who play here, for the foreigners kind of that dominate the courts. Oh, well, everybody can work in. You just have to wait your turn. You have to assert yourself, and you have to find a 5 of strangers to play with, and then you have to beat someone to stay on and keep playing. That doesn't work in Japan. This is how we do it in America. It's like, you score, you win. Like, you get a point, you keep going. If you win the game, you get to keep the court. In Japan, I guarantee you, most people are thinking, that doesn't make any sense because that's not fair for everyone. Even if you win, you don't get to keep playing on the court. Everyone should have equal time playing on the court. And I'm sure that's what these kids are thinking. Now, to give a little bit of pushback, because I don't necessarily think that these foreigners or the adults are being malicious and purposely being like, oh, kids, get out of the way, you can't play here. Because I've played here many times, and when I was there, kids would rotate in and play 5s as well. It's just kind of, that's what we did. It's like, the kids would rotate in. If they had an opportunity to play, all right, hey, yeah, you guys can play too, you got to get next. You got to get your 5, and you got to get next. The thing is, although that sounds fair to us, that's what we're used to playing like, in Japan, that may not be seen as fair. Because you see the park rules, the only thing that's written for the park rules is let everyone play, make sure everyone has an equal time to play. And you're thinking, all right, well, this is equal because they can make their 5 and then they can get in. And if they lose, then they're off and the winner stays. That doesn't seem fair to Japanese people. They don't want to play like that. Now, of course, there is an aspect as well. And shout out to these kids. I want to make it sure that we know I'm not bashing these kids when I say this. I really respect these kids for standing up for what they believe in, taking a video, documenting it, reaching out to the authority. But also there is a chance that, and once again, this is probably still the fault of the adults playing here, but there is a chance that the kids are just confused about, okay, they don't realize that the adults want them to get in on the next game or make their 5 and play as well. Now, once again, we're in Japan, so that whole system of how they play probably isn't okay in the first place. But the odds that the adults there were just like, hey, you can't play here, get out of our way, we don't want you playing, are pretty low. Still the adults' fault for not realizing, dude, we're in Japan, we can't play with this system anyways. This isn't how we should be playing. If there are other people waiting on the side who want to play, we need to stop our full court game and let everyone play. That's how it goes in Japan. And you don't like it, too bad. That's how things go here. But the odds that the adults were like, no, just get out. We don't want kids here. We don't want you to play. Like, from my experience, that's not really how things went there. There were plenty of kids playing that we offered the kids to get in as well. We wanted the kids to play, and, kids joined in on our teams as well. But we just expected them to kind of like wait their turn and do that thing. And hey, maybe that's wrong because that probably doesn't work for the Japanese context. For the Japanese context, the most important thing is making sure everyone is able to play when they want to play. We don't do this thing where you got to assert yourself and make your 5 or whatever. Also, there's a chance that, and once again, whoever the adult was that told them to F off or whatever, like, screw that guy, that's terrible. This is a cultural misunderstanding as well. And it's on the duty to understand the culture is on the foreigners who live in Japan. It's not the Japanese people's responsibility to understand the culture of the foreigners. So, that means the foreigners should be playing by Japanese expectations. And if that means stopping your full court game and letting everyone play and you don't get to actually play games, you just have to shoot around so everyone can shoot around at the same time, so be it. But also there are a lot of people kind of running with this and thinking like, oh, these foreigners or these adults told this kid to F off and get out of the way, and they're just occupying this court and they don't want to let kids play at all. I don't think it's that malicious. I really don't. I've been there a bunch of times and I never saw anything like that. What I did see, though, is maybe there's a full court game going on. Some kids don't realize there's a full court game going on. The foreigners, the adults, are on the other side. They run down without realizing the kids are there, and they almost knock over a kid. And they say, hey, kid, get out of the way. You're going to get hurt. Like I said, and probably not okay in the first place that they're even playing the full court game in Japan. That's not what you're probably expected to do. But also not just like, I don't think it's like, oh, these adults are just there and they're like, kids can't play and we want you to get out of here. F off. Don't even get on our court. I don't think it's that serious. Anyways, guys, that's my opinion. Like I said, at this court in Japan, there's one court and they tend to play full court there, and there's another court where they play half and half and like shooting around. Although that might seem fair to you, in Japan, it doesn't matter. That's not what seems fair to the Japanese people. They expect you to all include everyone at the same time. And this is very similar to like being in the gym in Japan. I've noticed this as well when I'm in the gym in Japan. I'll be on my like a machine for 4 sets or something. And I don't take particularly long in between sets, maybe 2 minutes or something like that. And I notice Japanese people, after like 1 set, they're staring at me and they're expecting me to move on. And I'm like, at first I was like, what are these people staring at me for? Like, I just got to finish my sets. I got 4 sets here. And then I noticed like everyone, if they see somebody else standing and waiting to get onto that machine, even if they plan to use it longer, if they've done it for a set already or maybe 2 sets tops, they move on to the next one because they let the other person get in. And of course, like, that doesn't really make sense for my gains, but that's how they do things in Japan. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating here because there are all these times where I'm working out here and someone will come up and they'll be staring at me and they clearly want to get in on my machine. And I'm like, dude, I just got here. I only used it for like 1 set. And they're thinking, well, you used it for 1 set. Now you got to move on because I want to use it too. So you let everybody use it. It doesn't matter if you have to do more sets. You have to remember where you are, what the cultural expectations are, where you are. And it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating as a foreigner here, but it doesn't really matter. That is the number one most important thing in Japan. Following the rules, making sure everybody works in. If somebody wants to use something, you're expected to read the air and let them use it, even if you're not done or whatever. That's how things go. That's my opinion, guys. yungjamez@gmail.com. Thank you for watching. Hit me up, guys, and take care.